willkommen zurück in Sherlock Holmes. So, es geht immer noch um den verschwundenen Zug. Geht es auch nicht weiter. Mexikaner gegen Chilenen. So. Überfluteter Steinbruch. Dann fehlt noch was. Zug versteckt. Könnte das sein? Oder Sabotage. Die Mine wurde mit Dynamit gesprengt. Jemand wollte sie vorsätzlich zum Einsturz bringen. Die Chilenen blieben rein zufällig an Bord des Zuges. Der Kontrolleur konnte sie übersehen. Passagiere Chesterfield. Der Zug hat den Bahnhof von Chesterfield passiert, auch wenn der Bericht des Bahnhofsvorstehers unleserlich ist und Fragen aufwirft. So, was haben wir hier? Kein Groll. Die Mexikaner hegen keinen Groll gegen die Chilenen. Geschäft ist schließlich Geschäft. Nein. Wütende Mexikaner. Die mexikanische Firma Caracas ist nicht gut auf die chilenische Firma Barcaza zu sprechen. Die Chilenen haben den Zuschlag für die WR-Goldmine erhalten, obwohl bereits eine Vereinbarung mit den Mexikanern bestand. Ja, so ist das richtig. Was haben wir hier? Passierte Doncaster. Doncaster, warte mal. Passierte der Zug Doncaster? Muss ja. Er muss ja Doncaster passiert haben. Oder auch nicht. Wie hätten die ihn denn sonst von den Schienen kriegen sollen?
The entire train has disappeared. It's a disaster.
Was ist das denn hier? Das habe ich noch gar nicht gesehen.
There was a building here not so long ago.
But I don't understand, Holmes. Why would anyone destroy the shed in such a manner?
It was disassembled in great haste. It is most odd.
Da vorne ist was. Mehrere Spuren. Radspuren. Spuren eines schweren Fahrzeugs.
Traces. Let's take a closer look. The distance between the tracks is about 6 feet 7 inches. The vehicle would have been heavy, as these tracks are quite deep. These traces are relatively fresh and were made by a large truck loaded with materials. The traces found at the disassembled shed near Evesham and at the lake were from the same vehicle.
Ja, Fragen. Dabei handelt es sich um ein abgerissenes Depot in der Nähe von Evesham. Dort sind auch Spuren eines schweren Fahrzeugs mit einer Spurweite von ca. 6 Fuß 7 Zoll zu finden, mit dem höchstwahrscheinlichen Material transportiert worden.
This road should lead to the town of Evesham.
Dann erfragen wir das mal. Abgerissenes Depot.
It appears that there was a small warehouse near your station and that it was disassembled. Why is that?
It was burgled overnight about 2 weeks ago. The police have already started their investigation, but I doubt that they'll find anything.
What was inside the warehouse?
Nothing of value. A few 100 feet of standby rails and some spare railway parts. But it wouldn't be easy to steal all of that. Why would anyone want to?
Aha.
See you later, my good man.
Schienen wurden gestohlen. Schienen zu den Minen fehlen. Gestohlene Schienenstücke. Gleis zu den Minen. Jemand hat die Schienenteile gestohlen, um vorübergehend das fehlende Gleisstück in die Minen zu ersetzen. Dann passt das hier nicht. Dann passt das hier eher. Was habe ich hier? Passierte Doncaster. Kam nie in Doncaster an. Der Zug kam nie in Doncaster an. Der Bahnhofvorseher hat gelogen und einen falschen Bericht gesendet. Möglicherweise wurde ein Geld, das er verzweifelt benötigt hat, bestochen. So. Was wäre dann das nächste? Untersuchen Sie das Nebengleis zwischen den Bahnhöfen von Chesterfield und Evesham, das zum Steinbruch führt. Das Nebengleis zwischen den Bahnhöfen von Evesham und Chesterfield und Evesham.
This railway branch should lead to the quarry. Let us take a look.
Schauen wir dann an. Das habe ich ja noch gar nicht
The
gesehen.
switch is rusted, but it still works.
Oder habe ich das doch schon mal gesehen? Warte mal.
The rail is rusted and looks old, but the railway is still usable.
Hier fehlt auch.
The railway ends here. That is strange.
Das Gleisende fehlt. Gestohlene Schienenstücke. Altes Nebengleis. Steinbruch. Gleis zum Steinbruch. Jemand hat die Schienenteile gestohlen, um vorübergehend das fehlende Gleisstück zum überfluteten Steinbruch zu ersetzen. Gleis zu den Minen. Jemand hat die Schienenteile gestohlen, um vorübergehend das fehlende Gleisstück in die Minen zu ersetzen. Jetzt ist die Frage, zu den Minen oder zum Steinbruch? Irgendwas passt da nicht. Da fehlt noch was. Überfluteter Steinbruch. Altes Nebengleis zum Steinbruch. Könnte gesunken sein. Der Zug könnte im überfluteten Steinbruch in der Nähe des Bahnhofs von Doncaster versenkt worden sein. Kann nicht gesunken sein. Der Zug kann nicht im überfluteten Steinbruch versenkt worden sein. Weil am alten Nebengleis, das dorthin führt, ein Stück fehlt. Passt da nicht. Ich glaube, das ist hier ein Fehler. Könnte gesunken sein, ja. Die haben den extra versenkt. Dann wäre das hier Gleis zu den Minen. Passagiere Chesterfield. Unfall. Chilen an Bord gelassen. Mexikanische Falle. Die Mexikaner haben dafür gesorgt, dass die Chilenen an Bord des Zuges geblieben sind. Aus diesem Grund wurden alle Fahrgäste bis auf die Chilenen aufgefordert, den Zug zu verlassen. Ja, das hört sich plausibel an. Robinson ist ein Opfer. Der Verlust des Prototyps ist eine Katastrophe für Mr. Robinson. Auch wenn er den Betrug geplant hat, hat er viel mehr verloren, als er entschädigt werden könnte. Die Versicherung deckt nicht den gesamten Wert der Maschine. Ja, das könnte auch wahr sein. Sabotage. Ich habe das Gefühl, es fehlt noch ein Puzzlestück. Ein Puzzlestück fehlt noch. Oder ich bin auf den völlig falschen. Dampfer hier. Zug versteckt. Die Mine ist eingestürzt und hat den Zug unter sich begraben. Dazu wurde Dynamit benutzt, nachdem der Zug in die Mine gefahren worden war. Die Mine wurde mit Dynamit gesprengt. Jemand wollte sie vollständig zum Einsturz bringen. In der Mine. Der Zug ist von der eingestürzten Mine verschüttet worden. Das hier passt irgendwie nicht. Der Zug könnte im überfluteten Steinbruch in der Nähe des Bahnhofs von Doncaster versunken worden sein. Das passt irgendwie eher, ne? Passierte Doncaster. Mexikaner Zug verschüttet. Es war sorgfältig geplanter Mord. Die Mexikaner töteten die Chilenen und brachten die Mine mit dem Zug darin zum Einsturz, damit keine Spuren von ihrer Tat zurückblieben. Blinde Justiz. Das Verbrechen der Mexikaner an den Chilenen hat viele Leben gekostet. Kontaktieren Sie Lestrade, damit die Polizei laut und schnell ihre Arbeit machen kann, selbst wenn es zu einem internationalen Konflikt kommt. Sache der Politik. Solch eine kriminelle Organisation greift man nicht frontal an, sondern mit Fingerspitzengefühl. Lassen Sie Mycroft das Problem lösen, auch wenn er dafür längere Zeit benötigt und es für seine Zwecke ausnutzen dürfte. Sache der Politik, hätte ich jetzt gesagt.
Then the case is solved, Holmes. What do you intend to do?
Well, I shall require assistance for the arrests. There were accomplices.
Ah, but I know that look. You have your own ideas. What are they, Holmes?
On the one hand, we have the local constabulary and advice from our friend Lestrade. The problem we have there is that the authorities seem to be incapable of acting quietly. They rely on brute force. It could result in an international scandal. Our other option is Brother Mycroft and his tedious political games. He will locate the guilty parties without any trouble, but it will be a long and drawn-out process, and possibly with some compromise that will be to Mycroft's benefit. But I think I'd prefer to give Mycroft a chance. We should overlook our personal differences on this occasion.
Let us go home, then. I'd like to begin writing a draft of this story.
I did not say that we had finished here yet.
Well, all right. What did I miss?
Watson, we know that the Barcazas Company directors were trapped under the collapsed mines, along with the train and Robinson's prototype. But we still need to corner the guilty party.
But how do you intend to prove... Oh, no. Please don't tell me we have to dig out the mines.
You may rest assured that I have a far better idea. We have only to use our corrupt Doncaster station master as bait. He will unwittingly trap our Mexican friend.
Of course, you already had a plan. I shall follow you, Holmes.
Well, the case is solved, and we shall be heading home. May we have 2 tickets to London, please?
Right away, Wait a minute. You've solved the case?
In a manner of speaking, can you believe that the rescue service miraculously saved one of the Chileans who were on board the train? The police have ordered his immediate escort to London on the next train.
He pulled through, then? He's alive?
Yes, by extreme good fortune. His condition is quite serious, and the method of transportation has its risk, but he will be held securely by the doctor and police officers. The gentleman carries some vital information on this case. I am sure of it.
Ah, really?
Your station will be famous, Mr. Duff. The journalist will be here before you know it. Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Einige Zeit später.
Gentlemen, you are under arrest.
Caramba! You traitor! You double-crossed me!
Wow, so schnell konnte ich gar nicht handeln. Die Geschichte sollte ein anderes Ende haben. Meinen Sie nicht auch?
Good shot, Watson. I always knew you were a talented marksman.
I didn't want another life lost in this case, Holmes.
Oh my God! I thought I was a dead man.
You shouldn't be so glad about it. You'll be up before the judge.
Your testimony will be of great importance to the investigation. I would remind you that your cooperation will be the best way to ease your sentence. By the way, Watson, would you be so kind as to give me some shooting lessons later on?
Yes, but not in our sitting room and not with you wearing a blindfold.
Und nicht, wenn Ihre Augen verbunden sind. Entscheidung bestätigen. Achtung, Sie sind gerade dabei, den Fall abzuschließen. Dabei werden die Spielstände für diesen Fall gelöscht. Mit Nein können Sie ja natürlich fortfahren. entgleist. Das Blutbad kommt jetzt. Ein neuer Auftrag.
Holmes, what happened?
I feel deathly.
And you look it. Let me examine you. Please don't tell me that you've returned to your old habits.
Alte Angewohnheit. Hat er das
The
Saufen
pupil
angefangen?
is dilated.
Die Pupillen sind geweitet. Ich kann nichts machen.
Pupil. The temperature appears to be normal. I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats.
Messen Sie den Puls, indem Sie 10 Sekunden lang die Herzschläge zählen.
A weak pulse, around 50 beats per minute.
Kinder.
But you're dying, Holmes. Your pulse rate is dropping. We need to get you to the hospital immediately.
The antidote. Give it to me.
The antidote? You mean that you're poisoned?
Now. Please.
Here, drink it all. Don't tell me that you did this to yourself.
Hemlock and datura. I was compelled to.
Holmes, imagine if I'd not returned home when I did. What might have happened?
I knew that you would.
Mr. Holmes, Inspector Lestrade is here to see you.
Mr. Holmes is unable to see anyone at the moment. He is unwell.
A good day, Inspector.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to find you here. I need your help. This is a strange one. We have brought in 2 young bankers from the city, sons of lords, members of the chamber, and so on and so forth. They were found stranded in a rowing boat that was drifting on the Thames.
A romantic escapade with an unhappy ending, Lestrade.
What? Well, yes, they were both in the bath, but... what?
As I said,
And they were tied together.
you are lacking in imagination, Inspector.
Well, no, I'm not. Anyway, there was a banner flapping about in the boat with the RMS Oceanic printed on it and signed by the Merry Men.
The Oceanic. Isn't that the largest steamer ever built?
Yes. And these 2 young banker chaps are sons of the owners of the White Star Line, the company that built it. There are rumours of corruption.
I'm not interested in politics, Lestrade.
I'll keep it then. Here's another one that's a bit more complex and maybe to your liking. It's a murder, but we're unable to find any weapon. We haven't touched anything. It's at the Roman Baths in Strand Lane.
A murder, a vanishing weapon, the Roman Baths. That's for us. Watson, fetch your hat.
Ein römisches Bad. Thermen von Strand Lane. Eine Dampfpfeife, die sie in Zügen verwendet wird. Eine kleine Trophäe hat er sich angeeignet.
Beautiful place.
With a dreadful murder. The body of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe is still in the steam room. It has not been touched, per your usual instructions, Mr. Holmes. I shall be waiting for you here, but please hurry.
Verdächtige?
Are you able to identify the men who were with the victim in the steam room?
Yes. The manager of the bath, Sir Gregory Pitkin, a lad from the city council, Garrow, and an archaeologist by the name of Blinkhorn. I think the plump one, Garrow, did it. He doesn't seem right in the head.
Well, we shall see.
Wir werden sehen. Die Tatwaffe.
You found no murder weapon?
No, and that's why I called you. All three witnesses and the victim were locked in when the murder occurred, and they remained so until we got here. We even had to pick the lock to enter.
I see.
Sie mussten sogar das Schloss knacken. Zeugen.
Was there anyone else here, apart from those gentlemen in the steam room?
Yes, a Mr. Phillips. He was the one who called the police. He'll be able to give you more details.
Ein Mr. Phillips.
Any progress, Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Phillips.
Good day to you, Mr. Phillips. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my colleague, Dr. Watson. Would you be so kind as to answer our questions?
Certainly, sir.
Was ist geschehen?
Please tell us the chain of events from the start of your day. Everything that you can remember. The slightest detail may be of importance.
Very well, sir. I came in at 6:30 this morning, and I opened the baths. I made sure that the room was clean, and I prepared the towels. The brazier was still burning.
There was a fire burning all night.
Yes, Sir Gregory ordered me to light the brazier yesterday. It takes some time until the room is fully heated. The gentleman had a meeting at 9 o'clock this morning. I wanted everything to be perfect. They'd been in the steam room for 20 minutes when I suddenly heard shouting. I ran to the door, but it was closed. I couldn't open it. So I ran out to the street to call for the police. One constable came up, and then there were others, and they picked the lock. Then Inspector Lestrade came along, and he told us that nothing should be touched.
Gab es andere Besucher?
Did you receive any other visitors this morning?
No one. Until these gentlemen arrived. Sir Gregory was the first. And then, while we were discussing work details, Sir Rodney and Mr. Blinkhorn arrived, and Mr. Garrow followed.
What happened after that?
I waited until they'd all entered the steam room, then I returned to the hall. The changing room door was open, so I should hear if they needed anything.
You would have heard if someone had entered or left the steam room.
Certainly, sir. These doors make a lot of noise.
Was haben wir denn hier? Leichte Fall, okay. Gestärkte Lippen, penibel. Gestärkter Kragen. Schnittwunde. Lebt alleine. Schneidet sich selbst die Haare, okay. Glänzende Knöpfe. Manchester City. Oh, was ist das denn hier? Was habe ich da gefunden?
These baths are becoming sinister.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Was sollen wir als nächstes tun, Mr. Holmes? Untersuchen Sie den Tatort und die Therme von Strand Lane. Finden Sie die verschwundene Tatwaffe, mit der Sie Sir Rodney Benedict ermordet wurde.
The steam room's on the other side, Mr. Holmes.
Oh, auf der anderen Seite. Gut zu wissen. Das hier ist der Ausgang.
These clothes belong to one of the suspects from the steam room. Clothes belonging to one of the suspects.
Sie waren jetzt dritt. Champagnerflasche.
Champagne for a special occasion.
Eine besondere Fähigkeit. Was haben wir denn? Geschmolzenes Eis.
An ice bucket to keep the champagne chilled. Unopened. It was intended to be enjoyed after the steam session.
Okay. Champagner, der nicht aufgemacht wurde.
Expensive clothes, belonging to one of the men from the steam room.
Good Lord, Holmes.
Ah, death with a peculiarly Roman piquancy.
Like the one you almost had an hour ago.
Let us forget about that.
Mit einer römischen Würze. Heißt das so?
The grid cannot be removed.
Was ist das?
I should check this blood sample at Baker Street.
Hier ist doch irgendein Stechwerkzeug. Ein Schlüssel.
This key was covered in blood. I should ask Phillips about it.
There was only one hit from the weapon. It pierced the right eye straight through to the brain. Death would have been instantaneous.
The wound should not have bled so profusely. This pool is rather large.
Die Blutblase ist ziemlich groß, okay?
Some dirt or earth. I'll take a sample.
Well, death is very recent, between 30 minutes to 1 hour ago.
Oh, was ist das denn? Ein Ringfinger.
Look, Watson. He was wearing a ring. He very likely removed it before the steam session. I think we have found all that we can here, taking into consideration the abysmal lighting. Constable, we have finished with the body.
We don't have many leads here.
What concerns me is that we still have to find the murder weapon.
Mr. Holmes?
Please have the body removed without disturbing anything else in the room.
All right, Mr. Holmes.
I was wondering, Holmes, it's fairly reckless to carry out a murder inside a closed chamber. Why do you suppose they did it?
There are a great many possibilities. The murderer was in a hurry, or he is an artist, or a ghost, or he wanted to ensure that I'd be brought in on the case.
Probably the latter. You are ridiculous, do you know that?
Ein echter Witzbold. Was haben wir denn hier? Dampfwedel.
With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away.
Brille.
One lens is cracked, probably due to the temperature of the brazier. These lenses are for myopia. The wearer is short-sighted. The brazier is still burning. The heat here is extreme. It is too hot. I cannot reach into it. I will need something to pick up this melted metal. The weapon is nowhere to be found.
It's horrible. So Rodney is dead. Can't we speak about it somewhere else?
I'm in shock. I don't want to talk.
It's horrible. I can't talk at the moment.
Mr. Holmes.
Warte mal. Analysieren. Eine Probe des Schmutzes, der unter Sir Dres Fingernägeln steckte. Ja, Schlüssel. Mit dem Schlüssel, genau. Was ist mit dem Schlüssel? Die Schlüssel zum Dampfraum.
How many people have keys to the steam room?
We have just the one key for now, which Sir Gregory gave to me.
So, this morning you opened the steam room, and then?
I put the key inside my desk, but when they called, I couldn't find it. It had disappeared. I don't know where it is.
Did you leave the baths at any time or receive any visitors?
No, sir. I did not.
Gekühlter Champagner. Na, falsche Antwort.
Did you leave the bath?
No, sir. I did not.
Blutprobe, morgendliches Telegramm. Blutverschmierte Schlüssel. Schmutzprobe, blutverschmierte Schlüssel. Auch nicht.
Did you leave?
No, sir. I did not.
Morgendliches Telegramm. Das nehme ich jetzt als nächstes.
You are not telling the truth, Mr. Phillips. You left your work this morning, and you went to the post office, where you dispatched a telegram at around 7:30.
But how could you... No,
The telegram was for someone in Manchester.
Mr. Holmes, it's I'll tell you everything. I left the baths at 7:20. My sister wrote to me yesterday, and she needed a reply, or our mother is unwell. I was away for 20 minutes, and I closed the baths on my way out.
Did you receive a reply from your sister?
No, she wasn't meant to. I just told her to pawn my old school uniform so that she could pay for the medication.
Did you check to see if the key was still in your desk when you returned?
No, I didn't. Please, Mr. Holmes, don't tell the police about this. Sir Gregory would give me the sack. I need this job.
I see.
Von wem ist der Champagner?
There is a bottle of champagne on ice in the changing room. Do you have any idea who left it there?
There is? Are you quite certain? I didn't pay any attention. Do you believe that it's important?
Aha. Auf zur Baker Street. Die Erde unter den Fingernägeln untersuchen. So. Da ist der Chemietisch. Schmutz analysieren.
Selenite.
Selenit. Was soll das sein? Partikel von weißen Ton,
White clay particles.
Weiße Tonerde, Selenit. Was ist hier? Pyrit.
Pyrite, otherwise known as fool's gold.
Narrengold.
Interesting. According to the color and its composition, I deduce that this sample is white clay. Now, I need to find which area near London this sample belongs to.
White London Clay. Ja, da.
The sample of dirt belongs to the White London Clay region, located near the city of St. Albans.
Blut analysieren.
Let us analyze this blood sample. This blood has not coagulated well. It seems very liquid. That is strange. Let us see what is inside it. Hydrogen peroxide will bring any foreign matter to the surface. I must take a pipette and place several drops of hydrogen peroxide. water. This blood is heavily diluted with water. My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
Das Blut ist stark mit Wasser verdünnt. Na gut, das liegt ja, weil die im Dampfbad waren. So, finden Sie die verschwundene Tatwaffe. Was habe ich denn hier? Schwarze Peter, das Rätsel auf den Gleisen. Ach so.
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful.
Briefe. The Surrend. Der Fall um den erschütternden Mord an dem ehemaligen Kapitän Peter Curry, auch bekannt unter dem Namen Schwarzer Peter, ist gelöst. Die Beweise, die Scotland Yard von sicherer Quelle erhalten hat, waren mehr als ausreichend, um festzustellen, dass Peter Curry von Pablo Coventrau, einem seiner früheren Harpuniere, ermordet wurde. Allerdings wird es nicht zu einer Gerichtsverhandlung kommen können, denn Coventrau wurde vor kurzem tot aufgefunden, gestorben ohne Gewalteinwirkung. Möglicherweise ist er an den Gewissensbissen ob seines schrecklichen Verbrechens gestorben.
This is where I keep my post. On the sofa for the third time today. Well, don't be surprised if Watson sits on you again.
Toby.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, I should like to take the suspects to the yard. You can interrogate them there. Any objections?
Keine Einwände.
None, Lestrade.
All these events are bad for the Baths. And my job.
Persönliche Gegenstände des Opfers und der Zeugen können jetzt auf der Polizeistation untersucht werden. Ja, dann bin ich mal dahin. Ab nach Scotland Yard. Champagner, sehr flüssiges Blut. So, was haben wir denn hier? Oh, so viele Gegenstände. Das ist wahrscheinlich von unserem Toten.
This ring was most likely the one that Sir Rodney wore. He removed it before entering the steam room.
Was haben wir denn da? Ja, der ist zusammengelötet hier.
An Egyptian symbol. It is a very old jewel. I see the join. This ring was repaired, and quite badly too, with silver.
Why on earth would they wear such a ring?
A very pertinent question.
Rodney
Bentcliffe's notebook. It may contain something of interest. The last pages were torn out. We must find a way of retrieving Sir Rodney's last lines. Watson, please prevent anyone from entering the room. But first, fetch me a pencil. To begin with, a few strokes of the pencil will be enough. I don't want to damage the traces.
Mhm.
And then to gently smudge the leftover pencil marks with a handkerchief. I'm sure that Watson won't mind if I use his.
Watson wird nichts dagegen haben, wenn ich seine Taschentuch benutze. Ach, der arme Watson.
Mr. Holmes, the coroner... But what are you doing? Tampering with the evidence?
I prefer to make them talk. Today, I almost found it. This date will go down in history. Sir Rodney was about to make an outstanding discovery.
Wonderful.
I could retrieve only the final words. The rest of it is lost. Perhaps the autopsy will assist us in that matter.
I'm not sure that I can allow you to inspect the body now.
I am sure that you must, Constable.
Well...
Betreff Sir Rodney Bencliffe, Alter 63. Der rechte Augapfel wurde von einem Gegenstand mit einer gebogenen Klinge vollständig durchstoßen und ist aufgeplatzt. Die Klinge hat die Orbita auf Höhe des Stirnbeins durchstoßen und ist in den dahinterliegenden Frontallappen und das Corpus callosum vorgestoßen, um schließlich im Kleinhirn zu enden, wo sie hämorrhagische Wunden verursacht hat. All diese Verletzungen haben zum direkten Tod der untersuchten Person geführt. Im Oberlappen der rechten Lunge befindet sich eine alte Verletzung, die mit Mukus und Ablagerungen gefüllt ist. Dies kann auf eine chronische Infektion durch Stoffe zurückgehen, die wahrscheinlich in einer Grabkammer eingeatmet wurden. Elemente einer verwesenen Mumie zum Beispiel oder von getrockneten und verfaulenden Lebensmitteln, die als Grabbeigabe dienten. Weitere Verletzungen sind nicht festzustellen. Was haben wir denn dann noch Schönes?
A hand-drawn map.
Eine handgezeichnete Karte und eine Münze.
An old and rather dirty coin.
So, was haben wir denn hier noch? Sir Gregory Pitkin, Direktor an Mr. Blinkhorn. Geehrter Mr. Blinkhorn, die Interessen, die ich vertrete, machen es erforderlich, dass sich die Situation in den Thermen bessert. Im Moment stehen die Ausgrabungsarbeiten im Abkühlraum unter ihrer Kontrolle. Es gibt jedoch keinen nennenswerten Fortschritt. Es ist ihnen nicht gelungen, irgendetwas vom Wert zu finden. Und wir können den Abkühlraum weiterhin nicht der Öffentlichkeit zugänglich machen. Das Frigidarium ist ein wichtiges Mosaiksteinchen bei dem Unterfangen, den Menschen heute das Erlebnis der römischen Thermen näher zu bringen. Aus diesem Grund bitte ich Sie dringendst, Ihre Arbeiten innerhalb der nächsten 2 Monate abzuschließen. Das sollte genug Zeit für Sie sein, Ihre archäologische Forschung in den Thermen zu beenden und einen anderen Ort für Ihre Unternehmungen zu finden.
An ordinary pencil. When Garrow found Sir Rodney dead, he wiped the blood upon himself.
Medikamentenfläschchen. Was haben wir denn da?
A phial with herbs. Do you know what it is, my dear fellow?
It's the St. John's wort flower, Holmes. It's commonly used as a drug against melancholia. However, an overdosage might lead to a rash or even hallucinations.
Mhm. So, und die letzten Gegenstände. Oh.
An embroidered silk handkerchief.
Besticktes Seitentaschentuch mit Initialen. Füller, Federhalter.
A fountain pen with solid gold trim.
Visitenkarte.
Sir Gregory Pitkin's visiting card.
Okay. Dann wollen wir mal mit der Befragung starten, denke ich mal.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and I am assisting the police with their investigation of the murder of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. My name is Percival Blinkhorn.
Percival Blinkhorn. Beruf?
What is your occupation?
I'm an archaeologist, specializing in the Roman period. I'm working on several excavation sites at present, including the baths at Strand Lane.
Can you tell me more about the baths?
Well, we're hoping to retrieve a great many interesting artifacts from the site, and to list any items of value before their eventual restoration and exhibition.
And has it been successful?
It has, thanks to Sir Rodney.
Sir Rodney.
What was your relationship with Sir Rodney?
Well, I couldn't say that he was a kind man, no. But he was talented. I felt a great admiration for him, I must say.
Was it your first collaboration?
I had met Sir Rodney briefly once in Egypt, and I'd shared my researches with him. Surprisingly, my work did convince him to come here. He arrived only a couple of months ago.
Surprisingly?
Well, Sir Rodney was a cold man, and so very secretive too. But I learned so much from him. I can't believe that he's dead.
Was haben Sie gesehen?
Can you tell me what you saw today?
Well, we entered the steam room and we all went to sit down. The steam was particularly dense, and I didn't see anything much further after that. I just heard Mr. Garrow shouting, but we all ran for the door and bumped into each other. I was very alarmed by this point.
What did you do?
Well, the door was stuck, and with all the steam, it was quite frightening. I was barely able to see my own feet. Garrow was covered in blood.
Do you believe that Garrow killed Sir Rodney?
Oh, no. Garrow couldn't harm a fly.
Irgendetwas Ungewöhnliches.
Can you recall any recent event that would occur to you now as being a little strange?
Well, yesterday we had a small argument.
Is that all?
No. Sir Rodney informed me that he was to attend the London Archaeological Congress with me. Then he advised me of quite the opposite. And rather aggressively, too.
Ring?
Do you recognize this ring?
Certainly. It's the famous Aswan ring. Sir Rodney brought it back from his last campaign in Egypt.
And he kept it for himself?
Sir Rodney has had his own particular ideas of archaeology.
Warte mal. Konzentrierter Blick, aufmerksam. Nicht wohlhabend. Alte Hose, nicht wohlhabend. Was haben wir denn hier? Frische Erdspuren. Vor kurzem gegraben. Hornhaut. Medikamente?
What can you tell me about Garrow?
Well, he always looks so sad. And he has been acting strangely lately. He complains about voices and visions. I will keep an eye on him because I'm worried.
Ihre Arbeit?
How well were your researchers progressing before Sir Rodney's arrival?
Rather well.
Römische Münze? Der
How
pikante
well
Brief.
were your researchers progressing before Sir Rodney's arrival?
Rather well.
Pikanter Brief. Blutverschmierte Schlüssel. Pikanter Brief.
This letter reveals that Sir Gregory was prepared to put a stop to your work.
Yes. But since Sir Rodney's arrival, he had calmed down. He allowed us to work. I'm not sure what they agreed on.
What will happen now that Sir Rodney is dead?
Well, I haven't thought about that. But if it's needed, I will fight to defend Sir Rodney's expectations.
Champagner.
Did you place the bottle of champagne in the changing room?
No, I did not.
Sehr interessant. Sehr interessant. Wenn euch das Video gefallen hat, macht einen Daumen nach oben, abonniert den Kanal, um nichts zu verpassen. Dann sehen wir uns auch garantiert im nächsten Video weiter bei den nächsten Befragungen. Ich speichere jetzt und bedanke mich schon mal für die Aufmerksamkeit. Wenn euch das Video gefallen hat, nicht vergessen, den Daumen zu machen. So, ich verabschiede mich. Ciao, tschüss, euer Nightkid.